بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم ربنا بارك لنا وارحمنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. We still, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we are still in the Kitabu Al-Hajj. This inshallah, we're going to start with Babu Ajru al-Umrati ala Qadri al-Nasb. When we say somebody making some kind of ibadah, like let's say salah, how do you know that somebody is making more reward in his salah rather than another somebody else? What is the gauge here? What is it? Khushu', right? The length of salah, the length of sujood, the at-tadabbur, for you to give it the full attention. So the more you spend effort in the salah and the length of it, that will give you better reward. How about sadaqah? Which is better sadaqah than other sadaqah? Is it the quantity?
Halal money.
Of course, the source has to be halal. Otherwise, we'll negate it, we'll completely cancel it. Now, is it the quantity? Like somebody who gives $10 better than somebody who gives $5? Or is it percentage of what he has? As the hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ, رَبَّ دِرْهَمٍ خَيْرٌ مِنْ مِئَةِ أَلْفِ دِرْهَمٍ وَمِنْ أَلْفِ دِرْهَمٍ. How? Because if somebody has 2 dirham and he spend one of them versus somebody who spend 100,000, and that's only a portion of his wealth. So that is the generally speaking, this introduction. What about the Hajj and the Umrah? How much reward, what is the gauge of who's going to get paid more rewards in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is the hadith. قالت عائشة أم المؤمنين رضي الله عنها يا رسول الله يصدر الناس بنسكين وأصدر بنسك. She said, Ya Rasulullah, people are leaving with 2 nusuk in the Hajj. What are they? 1 Hajj, 1 Umrah. And I'm leaving with 1 nusuk. I'm leaving with Hajj only. So apparently she had a form of najasa that came upon her, and she was not able to continue on to proceed with the Umrah, with the Hajj, right? And this is the Qur'an, with the Hajj, with the Umrah. فقيل لها, Rasulullah answered her back. He says, انتظري, wait. فإذا طهرتِ, until you are in state of tahur. Wait until you're in state of tahur. فخرجي إلى التنعيم فأهلي. She said, فخرجي إلى التنعيم, go with your brother Abdurrahman ibn Abu Bakr, because he was there. فأهلي, أهلي is like make a umrah. Start with the umrah. ثم أتيا بمكان كذا, and then you go in that place, and here is not mentioned, number 7, which is, it's called Al-Abtah. It is a place in Mecca. ولكنها, the umrah, it is as على قدر نفقتك أو نصبك. It is the reward for it. It depends on how much money you spend, or how much trouble or how hard the umrah is you're doing. So the gauge of the better umrah and the better hajj is how much juhd, how much effort that you spend in the umrah and the hajj, you get paid more. So some of the brothers, they go to hajj, and they go and they spend the least amount of effort. The hajj is so easy in the shortest days, like for instance, in the coolest days. And they go in a place that they don't hardly spend any effort in the Hajj, and they come back all happy. Versus somebody else who goes in the very hot days, and he end up getting lost here or there, or not having a ride, or like in the state of like what has happened to Aisha radiallahu anha al-Mu'mineen, where she a najasa came upon her. She was not able to do the second portion, which is the Umrah. So some people who have it easy, you get a little bit of reward, or minimum reward. The brothers who have it hard, they get more reward. So according to the hardship, according to the effort that you spend in the Hajj. That's why when you come back from Hajj or from Umrah, and you go to yourself, this time was hard. I spent a lot of effort. Oh, I wish it was easier for me. I wish that. I say, brother, don't worry. It depends on the amount of effort you have spent. You got rewarded for that effort. And the more, right.
That has anything to do with what we have, what kind of technology we have right now? See, we have a plane, AC room, like air conditioned room, like cars. Make Hajj like it's really easy.
Right. But well,
something to do with that.
Right, but again, now here's the thing: you should not seek more difficulty and make it more difficult on yourself. Say, you know what? Let me make it more difficult, and then I'll get paid with more reward. That's not the concept. But the concept is that if you're there, and you just happen to encounter a difficulty of some sort, don't worry about that difficulty, and don't worry about the effort you have spent. You will get paid according to the effort and the juhd you have spent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in that place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for it as well. But this is the question now. People think, if you don't take this hadith, is that, you know what? Why don't we make it more difficult for ourselves? You know what? Why do I want to stay in an air-conditioned room? And why even don't want to take a bus or an airplane? Or even worse than that, let me go walking. Make it even more difficult. The more difficulty I will have, the more reward I would get. But that is not the concept. The concept here is that Rasulullah ﷺ in his times, whatever job, whatever thing that he was doing, he always followed the easiest path. The easiest path. But sometimes when you're going through the easiest path, you encounter difficulties. So don't be regretful, don't feel bad in the Hajj that you encounter some kind of difficulty, some kind of hardship. The more hardship you encounter, the more reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you in this case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam.
So Sheikh, my brother was asking, an extension of his question. So nowadays, like he was saying, we go with this, the Hajj houses who tour operators and all that.
Sure.
They are very luxurious.
Of course.
You go in there.
Of course.
We went, alhamdulillah, whenever we went, we thought it was over the top.
Of course.
And it was we felt bad in the middle that, it's just way too luxurious.
Sure.
We understand that you have to be close to Mina, you got to be close to all that stuff if you can.
Sure.
That is understood. But then the food and, you just overdo it. So does it take away from the blessing what you get from
That's a good question. So let's say that the minimum is that for you to comply with all the rules and whatever the Hajj. But obviously it's clear according to this hadith that the brothers who encounter more hardship or more problems, whatever could that be, a bus first class or bus second class or third class, or maybe just a walk or maybe a ride or whatever it is, the more effort that you spend, the more reward you will get. Wallahu alam, this is, I only tell myself, I say, you know what, and some of the brothers, this is what they do, they go to Hajj and they'll get the best room in the closest to the Kaaba as possible. And they want to have it in the easiest place, in the 5-star, It does not have to be that way. I think that, it does not have to be that kind to be on top and spend the extra sum of money. At the same time, for you not to go and intentionally seek a place that is really difficult and really hard and cause burden to yourself that you end up suffering. Remember, the amount of money you have, let's say that today we're spending, wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah, today, we're spending today close to $10,000 and up for every time you make Hajj. And the difference between the average Hajj, let's say $7,000 or $8,000, and the 5-star $15,000 or $16,000, let's say, double or so. I'm just estimating. I'm not, these are really not accurate numbers. So if you shave a little bit off of the expenses, and you give this money sadaqah to somebody else who is needy, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for it. Number one. Number two is that most of the brothers, and especially the brothers who really, really appreciate the Hajj, appreciate this trip, when they go to Hajj, they really spend all their time in ibadah, in doing the manasik, being in the haram. And I say, why do you need the 5-star room? And why do you need, all this luxurious stuff that we really don't use? Really, there's no use for it. And I think would be silly, would not be beneficial for somebody to go to Hajj and spend any time even in the room at this point. You know, you should not be spending any time in the room. You should be out there making tawaf, making dua, making salah, you know. So the best thing is, just like in habit in our deen, is khayrul umuri awsatuha, the wasat. Not the highest one, not the super low one that you're going to suffer, you're going to have a hard time with. And it's okay for you, and you see the difference in price between 4 in a room, 3 in a room, or 2 in a room, or 1 in a room, you know, and it's like the price drastically changes between one to the other. And I say, you know what, it's no problem for you to share a room with somebody else. And if you could save whatever it is amount of money, $500, $1,000, you give it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you save it for somebody, or, you know, our nation today is in need. As always, they're in need to give money sadaqah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, our brothers they live in a tent. That's their permanent home. If they're lucky to have a tent somewhere between, you know, what's going on in Syria and Iraq and in Palestine, anywhere, everywhere, you know. So Allahu Alam, for you not to splurge that way, and for you to try to save as much as possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alam. But this is a good indicator of, and more importantly is that if you encounter some kind of hardship, you know, in the Hajj, don't think of it as like, oh, it's just a hard time. The Hajj is not the same as the Hajj. The more effort you spend, the more effort, the more juhd that you put, the more reward you will get at the end of the Hajj. And that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the next one inshallah, the hadith. باب ما يقول إذا رجع من الحج أو العمرة أو الغزو. This is when he comes back, when he's heading back, when Rasulullah was heading back to from Hajj or Umrah or battle or you know, he's like on travel basically, when he's traveling. عن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا قفل من غزو أو حج أو عمرة يكبر على كل شرف من الأرض 3 تكبيرات. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu narrated the hadith. He said, Rasulullah when he was coming back from Hajj or Umrah or battle or, you know, travel of some sort, and he was coming back to the Medina, his home. So for every higher piece of ground that he was on, let's say a little bit of hill or so, he used to make 3 takbirat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then he used to say, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير آيبون تائبون عابدون ساجدون لربنا حامدون. The dua is لا إله إلا الله. After he makes Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar 3 times, he would say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير آيبون راجعون من المآب, we go coming back, تائبون من التوبة, we making tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عابدون from the true submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ساجدون من السجود, we are making sujood, prostrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لربنا حامدون, we are making hamid to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he would say, صدق الله وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. And this is pretty much close to the dua that we make in the talbiyah and the Hajj. Now let's go back through it. This is a true submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even on the way back, your job is not over. Your job as a Muslim is not over. Our job, our nature, what we do is continuously going, does not stop. So when Rasulullah is heading back to Medina to his house, he used to go on top of every hill, he used to say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and he used to talk Ayyibuna, Raji'una, Ta'ibuna, Abiduna lillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he used to say Sajidun, make a sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Li Rabbina Hamidun, make hamid to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sadaqa Allahu wa'dah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sadaqa, min as-sadq, he was truthful, with his promise. صدق الله وعده ونصر عبده. He gave victory to his abd, to Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام. وهزم الأحزاب وحده. And this is one of the part of the dua, which is the Ahzab is the battle of, actually the battle of Ahzab. And the battle, what we call is the battle of the Khandaq, is the same thing. And we know that when the kuffar, they all gathered and they attacked the Medina to attack Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. And that was one of the few times, if probably the first time ever, for the tribes in the Peninsula, Arabian Peninsula ever to get together to do something together. They usually are never together. But subhanAllah, they all gathered to attack the Muslims in Medina. When they attacked them, there was 10,000, more than 10,000 of the soldiers. They came in under the leadership of Quraysh, the kuffar, and they wanted to attack the Medina. And they surrounded the Medina for more than a month. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the month, He sent the wind, He sent, the fear, put the fear in their hearts. They all walked away and very little fighting has happened in that battle. So we say, Hazam al-Ahzaba wahda. To remember that great day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defeated the Ahzab by Himself. Allah subhanahu, we admit it, we say it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hazam wahda. He is the one who defeated them. He's the one who pushed their harm from the Muslims from the Medina. Hazam al-Ahzaba wahda. And this is the rest of the dua, inshallah. Now, Babu man asra naqatahu idha balagha al-Medina. An Humayd, this bab is about when Rasulullah used to come towards the Medina and he's riding a ride. He has on a ride. Typically in the desert, he's riding a camel, right? When we say naqa. Naqa is a female camel, right? Naqa, right? So, Babu man asra naqatahu idha balagha al-Medina. The minute that he sees the Medina, he's right there, he sees it, he's so close, he would push his naqa to go faster to get where is it at. And this is the hadith. عن حميد أنه سمع أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قدم من سفر فأبصر درجات المدينة. Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام, when he's coming back from a travel and he saw the edge of the city from a distance, from Medina, the Medina where he used to live, أوضع ناقته, he used to push it. وإن كان دابة حركها, any kind of dabba, any kind of ride, it was like, could be a mule, could be a camel, could be anything. He used to push it to go faster to arrive to the Medina. Now, زاد الحارث بن عمير عن حميد. Al-Harith ibn Umayr, somebody else narrated the same hadith. He said something else to the hadith. He says he rushed his camel or his ride min hubbiha, because he loved it. He used to love the Medina so much that when he sees it, he gets so close, he pushes and rushes his ride, his dabba, to get there. Subhanallah. That is from Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. And subhanallah, I was reading the other day about the insurance statistics. They found out that the closest or the most amount of accidents that people get in their cars are within the 3-mile radius of their homes. So there's somebody's traveling in the far away, he's like taking it easy. The minute he's gonna get home, he rushes because he wants to get home. And subhanallah, because that rushing, or he thinks he get all cocky about knowing what the streets and what the roads are, he let his guards down and end up in more accidents. And that is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it is similar, is that somebody wants to go home and he's like right there on the home stretch, he would give it all he got that he's getting there. But Rasulullah, he used to love the Medina. That was a holy place. And that was the place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for it to be hosting the Risala. The first Ummah, the Ummah gathered under the leadership of Rasulullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not want it to be in Mecca, did not want it to be in Ta'if, the second Medina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant it to be, He ordained it to be in the Medina. And this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the next hadith inshallah, عن نافع أن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما. Abdullah ibn Umar عمر الخطاب رضي الله عنه حين خرج معتمرا في الفتنة. الفتنة, the days, is that there was a big fitna going on in the days of Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn Awam. We spoke a little bit about it in the days of Yazid when he was in Mecca. He was out to make Umrah. قال إن صددت عن البيت صنعت كما صنعنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He says, if I was stopped, I was not able to make, to get to the Bayt, get to the Kaaba, al-Bayt, the house. When we say the Bayt is what? We name the Kaaba, right? I would do like what Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam did, or what we did when we were with Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. فأهل بعمرة من أجل أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان أهل بعمرة عام الحديبية. Now, if you remember the عام of the Hudaybiyah, the year of the Hudaybiyah, Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, and that's in the year 6, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam took off from Medina to make Umrah to Kaaba. And when right before he arrived in Mecca, the Kuffar and Quraysh heard. And that was a year after the battle of Al-Ahzab. So the Muslims, they went like everybody else in the whole Arabian Peninsula. They want to make Umrah. They want to visit the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And typically, the people of Quraysh, they never deny anybody. They're according to their code, they don't deny anybody. Anybody could come in and visit the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when they heard Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam and his companions are going to make Umrah to visit the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they sent a messenger to him. He said, no, you cannot come and make Umrah this year. And they said that because the Arab, they're going to say, the people, they're going to say, he came in and in spite of us, because we were defeated. They were defeated the year before. They ran away. They said, now in spite, you're going to come in and you're going to visit the Kaaba. So this year you get to go back and you get to come back next year. So Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam sat there and he made the sulh, he made the treaty of Hudaybiyah. And that is a very important detail in our history, in the history of Islam. What has happened in that treaty, how was it written, and what was written in it, and what has happened. But maybe another time, inshallah, we'll designate a whole hour at least to talk about the details. And the research and the historians have talked about it, the wisdoms and the moral of we have learned from this treaty was immense, it was great. So, but anyway, after it was written and the treaty was done, Rasulullah agreed for him to go back. And when he did, what has happened, and this hadith on what has happened is that the Muslims were all happy and excited. They want to go make Umrah. And all of a sudden, this guy comes in out of nowhere from Quraysh. He says, no, you cannot make Umrah. You have to go back. And the Muslims were all, agitated. How he's going to turn us away and why? Nobody has ever been turned away from Mecca before, from Kaaba before. Why us? SubhanAllah. Anyway, so after it was written everything else, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, he made ihram as if he made the Umrah. When we finish the Umrah, what do? We shave our heads, we cut our nails, and we slaughter, we make sacrifice, we make dhabiha for the hadi that we bring with us, right? Or we have that with us. So Rasulullah, when he was not able to make the Umrah and he returned away, he went ahead and he shaved his head, and the Sahaba shaved their heads, and they slaughtered the animals, the na'amas with them, and they turned away. So Abdullah ibn Umar was saying in this hadith is that if I'm stopped, if I'm not able to reach it for any reason, and that was a good reason back then, what has happened is that an army of the Yazid Muawiyah was attacking, and the other party, Abdullah ibn.
So in other words, as if he performed the Umrah.
Exactly. That is the thing to do. What you do if you're stopped, you're unable to make the Umrah, even though you're on the road, you get there, and you stop for any reason. What do? We do like what Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam did, is that the place he was stopped at, stop forcefully, that is, he would make ihram and would come back, and inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be recorded for him as a Umrah, as complete Umrah. By the way, that is proven in the other ahadith. How many Umrah did Rasulullah ﷺ make? 4. The very first one was the Umrah of the Hudaybiyah. That was it. Even though he never reached Mecca, he never reached the Kaaba. But it was considered, and all the scholars, with no exceptions, they recorded it as the first Umrah Rasulullah ﷺ made it after he migrated to Medina. That was the first one that was recorded. And then the second year he made another Umrah, and then the following year he made another Umrah. And all these 3 Umrah that he did, actually they were done in Dhul Qa'dah, in the month of Qa'dah.
So why he did not make the Hajj?
Well, he made the Hajj the 4th year.
No, I know, but all 3 Umrahs.
All 3 years.
When he had an opportunity, so he could have made the Hajj.
Right. Well, he didn't actually. The very first year, that the year of Hudaybiyah, there was a treaty for him not to go back and not to make Umrah that year. So he turned back. The following year, the kuffar, they violated the treaty. So he went to war with them, and he made the Umrah that year, but he did not make Hajj. The 3rd year, that Amul Wifada, that was a lot of people were visiting Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. It's been said tens of thousands used to come in and make mubayah, to shake his hand and take Islam on his hand. So he was not able to make the Hajj. He sent Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh. He was the Amir al-Hajj that year, and that was the year and then he sent after him Ali ibn Abi Talib with Surah At-Tawbah to write in the Hajj to warn the people the people who the kuffar is that they're not able to, they're not going to stay on their kufr. He gave them an extension of 4 months for them to enter Islam. Finally, he made one hijjah. He made one hijjah finally, which is called Hijjatul Wada'. So Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, technically, he made one hijjah and 4 umrah. The first one was Hudaybiyah. The last one was with the hijjah. He did both. He did Hajj and Umrah at the same time. So technically he did 4 Umrah, but he made one Hajjah only. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Hajj was Umrah at the same time?
Naam, that is the best. That is the best, is that for you to get the both rewards.
Like we do it now.
Exactly. And that is Hajj al-Qarn. تقرن بين الحج والعمرة. You make them both at the same time. You do, there's a sequence to it, for you to do the Hajj al-Tamattu, right? Hajj al-Tamattu also. That, the Hajj is...
You do the Umrah first and then you do...
Exactly.
But didn't Rasulullah say that, if he would have done Tamattu instead of Qiran?
That is correct.
He carry his animal with him.
Exactly. So the Hajj could be done, and as the brother was mentioning, and that's also a lengthy subject, is that you do Hajj alone, you just make a Hajj and you walk away, or you make the Umrah before the Hajj, or you make the Umrah after the Hajj, after you're done with the Hajj. So if you do it after the Hajj, if you do it before, you're going to have, it's more burdensome, it's a little bit more, if you do it after, a little bit more trouble. The one before makes it easier for you, because you can make the Umrah, and then you make the Hajj, and then you make the sacrifice, and you're done with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah.
At what age he did the Hajj?
MashaAllah. If we know that the Hajj was in the last year, in the year 9, right before, actually it was about 3 months or so before he passed away, or so. And Rasulullah ﷺ was 63 years old when he passed away, Wallahu alam, in that, in that age. So he was 62 or 63 years old.
Okay. And the 4 Umrah were consecutive 4 years.
Exactly, in the 4 years. Years 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. The last year, and then he passed away after he came back to Medina. So Rasulullah ﷺ was 63 years old. And see, now we look at him, we see his behavior and his actions. When he migrated from Mecca to Medina, he was 53. He was not a 30 years old, 25 years old man. And yet, he was the most physically fit person, that he goes out there on all the travels, he goes out there in the battles, and he used to make the salah all night, making tahajjud, And the last year or so, a couple of years or so before he passed away, this is where it started to get more difficult for him. So he used to make the salah sitting down. So you can imagine how physical was Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. He was like he's acting better than a 25 years old person today in our age, of how much devotion, how much energy, how much effort he used to put. And mashallah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam set an example for us. And I want to tell you, this is also, and there's a lot of scholars have said that, is that when the last couple of years of his life, he made, and this is exemplary, his behavior is exemplary for us, it's an example of what he did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him, or he practiced the salah when he was standing up, and he did the tahajjud when he was sitting down, to make us also follow him today. But we need to push ourselves until we reach the limit that we can, without overburdening ourselves. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, when he used to stand up and make salah, his feet used to be swollen, used to be red, from standing up as long as he did. And we know at least he was as young as 53 years old, and possibly to 62 or 61 or 62 years old he was doing this. So that's an example for us how fit Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam was, inshallah. No.
Sheikh, a quick question. You said we were talking about the Umrah, if
No.
you don't get to complete. What happens if you don't get to complete Hajj for some reason, you get stuck? Is it
MashaAllah. This is what we have it here. That's the next hadith. Babu al-ihsaru fil Hajj. Babu al-ihsaru fil Hajj is that if you're not able to complete the Hajj. Now, what is the most important element in the Hajj that the Hajj is not complete without? Arafah. MashaAllah. You could possibly miss a couple of things here and there, but if you miss Arafah, your Hajj is null and void. The sa'i is the easy part, but if you miss the sa'i of some sort or whatever, that could be permissible. The only thing that is not permissible for you to miss is if you miss Arafah. Arafah, and Rasulullah ﷺ said in the hadith, he says, Al-Hajju Arafah. Al-Hajju Arafah. Right? So watch. كان ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما يقول أليس حسبكم سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he used to say, isn't it enough for you? This is a statement for us. This statement. Isn't it enough for you? سنة رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام. Isn't that enough for you? The sunnah of Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام, the way he used to do things. Is that enough for you? And he is touching a nerve with the people who used to listen to this, like what we touch nerves. Like today when somebody says, this is sunnah, everybody get alert. It's like, that's what Rasulullah used to do. He used to walk like this, he used to act like this, he used to make salah like this, his voice, his tone of voice used to be like this. He was like this with his wives, he was like this with his sahaba. This is the sunnah. He said, أَلَيْسَ حَسْبُكُمْ سُنَّةُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم إِنْ حُبِسَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَنِ الْحَجِّ, hurting him, some kind of something has causing him some kind of damage, some kind of hurt. من رأسه, from his head. فَفِدْيَةٌ مِّن صِيَامٍ, he would make fidya, he would make a ransom of some sort, either siyam, or sadaqah, give sadaqah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or for the third one is nusuk, is some kind of worship and extra worship. The hadith is this. كان عن كعب بن عجرة. Ka'b ibn Ujra is Sahabi from the Ansar. He was making Hajj with Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام. وكان أنه قال لعلك آذاك هوام رأسك. Ka'b ibn Ujra was making Hajj, but he has so much lice on his head, they were falling off on his face. I mean, that bad. And in the Hajj, you're not allowed to shave your head. And this is the easiest way for you to get rid of the lice, is that you shave your head off and you're done. That's it. The lice has nowhere to live and you're done. And this is the word that we say, is that we know the lice, that what they do is that they leave their eggs on the actual hair, right? And this is the only way and the best way to get rid of them is by doing what? By shaving them. Or if their hair is there, you need to do something called nitpicking. That's what the nitpick is. Somebody who says nitpick? Nitpick is that you go through the head, hair by hair, and you look at the actual eggs laid on the hair, and you pick it. That's what the mothers used to do back in the days, used to look at their sons, when they come back from school, especially if there is an outbreak of lice. Come here, son, just bring him over, look through his head like, is there something there? And he's like, oh, here you go. She pulls that out. And that's what the word we use today, nitpick, right? So, now, فقال, Rasulullah he says, لعلك آذاك هوام رأسك. But maybe it hurts you so much that you have all the lice on your head is falling on his head, and he's like sitting there patiently, and he cannot do anything, and he's afraid to scratch his head, because if he scratches his head and he bleeds, his Hajj is a problem with his Hajj, right? So, and he says, قال نعم نعم. He said, نعم يا رسول الله. Yes, يا رسول الله. Wallahi, I'm hurt. I'm in deep pain, He says, فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم احلق رأسك وصم ثلاثة أيام. He says, shave your head and make siyam 3 days. 3 days. أو اطعم ستة مساكين. Feed 6 مساكين. أو انسك بشاه. Take a lamb and slaughter it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But see, that gives you a clue that if you did something, like for instance, if you had to shave your head for a reason, not just because you want to, because let me just shave my head and just fast 3 days. You have to have a good reason. Your Hajj is not nulled, it's not voided. There's a replacement. There's something you could do to replace something that you missed, the nusuk of you not to shave your head or do something else, right? Wallahu alam. So you can imagine what the brother, what the Sahabi was going through, and how much of a pain and agony he was going with. And he was sitting there in front of Rasulullah, and he's looking at him, the lice dropping off his head, and he would not break his Hajj. He thought that if he shaves his head, that would break his Hajj. But Rasulullah gave him rukhsa, said if you do this, and the rukhsa is that, ihliq rasak, shave your head, and fast 3 days, or feed 6 masakin, 6 people, or insuk bishat, slaughter a lamb for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. باب الإطعام في الفدية نصف صاع. Hadith number 137 inshallah. عن عبد الله بن معقل قال جلست إلى كعب بن عجرة. Ka'b ibn Ujra is the same as the hadith before. MashaAllah, this Sahabi has a very eventful Hajj. He's narrated a lot of hadith what has happened with him, in the Hajj. فسألته عن الفدية. I asked him about the fidya. The fidya is a replacement or a ransom of something that you do. You do fida, right? We know the fidya is that, like the very first fidya that's talked about in the Qur'an, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, had Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, had the vision, has the ru'ya, the manam, that he is slaughtering his own son Ismail alayhi salam. So he says, in Surah Safat, he says, قَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ إِنِّي أَرَى فِي الْمَنَامِ أَنِّي أَذْبَحُكَ. And you see in the dream that I'm slaughtering you, I'm killing you. I see the dream. قَالَ يَا أَبَتِ يَفْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرُ. He answered back, he says, Ya abati, oh my father, do what you are ordered to do. فَسَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الصَّابِرِينَ. You will find me from the patient one. فَفَدَاهُ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made fidya for Ismail alayhi salam with what? With ibhin azim, with kabsh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it, and that is the fidya that we know from these days. So, instead of killing his own son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send him, fidya, send him a kabsh in this case, right? So, the fidya here is that, he said, نُزِلَتْ فِيَّ خَاصَّةً وَهِيَ لَكُمْ عَامَّةً. He said, it was revealed on me special, but it is rukhsa for all of you. So look at him, he's saying, oh, that is me, I'm the special one here. What has happened with him, right? He says, حُمِلْتُ إِلَىٰ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ وَالْقَمْلُ يَتَنَاثَرُ فِي وَجْهِهِ. He says, I was taken to Rasulullah ﷺ, and the qamal and the lice is jumping all over my face, jumping, So you can tell if one jumping over your face, there's 100 hidden in his head, right? That was a very bad event. Now all the brothers saying like, like they're scratching. So, فقال ما كنت أرى الوجع بلغ بك ما أرى. He says, Rasulullah says, I did not know that the waja, the pain, has reached in you as much as I see. If you see so much, it means there's, millions and possibly hundreds of thousands of lice on his head, right? He says, أو ما كنت أرى الجهد بلغ بك ما أرى. And I did not see the juhd, the effort that, you spend, it reaching you that much. It's amazing. He's looking at him like, man, yeah, subhanallah. فقال تجد شاة. He said, can you find, or do you have a lamb or a sheep? قال لا. فقلت لا. يا رسول الله, I don't have one. قال فصم ثلاثة أيام. He says, fast 3 days. Make siyam 3 days. أو أطعم ستة مساكين, or feed 6 مساكين. لكل مسكين, this is the addition of this hadith, لكل مسكين نصف صاع. For every miskin, half sa'. Do you remember the word sa'? The sa' is? Exactly, mashallah. The sa' is a unit of measurement. Does not go by weight. It goes by the size. It is 2 hands full. You scoop it up from grain of the commonly used in the place you're at. Like they say, the people in the Arabian Peninsula used to use a lot of hinta, a lot of barley. In the north, we used to use, like in Damascus, we use a lot of wheat. Our brothers from the subcontinent obviously use more rice, and from the 6 kind of grains that we use, the barley, the oat, the rice, the wheat, from those you could, whatever that commonly used in that area. If you go to the States, what do you think is the most common at the time when the Americas was discovered? What was the grain was used the most? Corn. And that's why you find the indigenous people in the Americas, they used cornbread as the most common, or a different form of it, which is they call it the tortillas today that they use. So it's basically a form of grain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the fidya here, for you to miss that is half of sa'. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam. Inshallah. Babu qawli Allah azza wa jal, fala rafatha wala fusuq. In the Hajj, 2 conditions. La rafath wala fusuq. Now, let's talk a little bit about fusuq, fasaq. Where does the word fasaq come from? Where does it originally come from? We know fasaq, fasiq, somebody who's fasiq, right? The words that we know from our deen is that we say somebody who's kafir, somebody who's mushrik, somebody who's fasiq. What's the difference between the 3? The kafir is somebody who is in state of kufr. He denounces something. Like for instance, like Qarun. What did Qarun say? Qarun said, all this money I have is from me. It's not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has nothing to do with this. It's me. It's my effort, is my knowledge. He did kufr. He denounced the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the money. That is kufr. You could make kufr in one thing, or one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or all the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, period. That is all called kufr. All of it. For somebody to walk up to you and say, I don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we call him today an atheist. An atheist is a kafir, because he is denouncing the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is kafir. Or somebody would walk up and say, you know what, I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I don't believe in the day of judgment. He's kafir, because he denounced one of the attributes, or one of the things in the deen, one of the given things in our deen, which is kufr, right? Or somebody walk up and say, you know what, I believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, but I don't believe in Isa alayhi salam. I don't believe in the rest of the prophets. I don't believe in the books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I believe in the Qur'an, but I don't believe in this. I believe this. That is the state of kufr, who denounces one attribute, one or multiple, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. That is one. Now, mushrik is that somebody who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he believes in somebody else, deifies somebody else with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like the people in Quraysh. The people in Quraysh, they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you ask them who created heaven and earth, they never said these statues. They said, no, the statues are not it. They said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created heaven and earth. So they said, why do you worship these statues? They say, تُقَرِّبُنَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. It gets us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they're worshipping the statue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This with, it means shirk, and that's sharaka, it is partnership. You make partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing, if you make partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with any of His attributes, that becomes shirk. Like for instance, you look at a Muslim brother, you tell him, who gives you the money? Who gives you sustenance? He says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then next day he walks to his boss in his company, say, you took the food away from my table. It's like, okay, who gives you the money? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or your boss? If you think your boss with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're both, or one of them, or maybe specifically yesterday was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and today is your boss, that is shirk, because now you're joining. That's, you know. And this is the concept of shirk. In the hadith, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam says, the lengthy hadith, يصبح المؤمن كافرا ويغدو the Muslim at night, he is a mu'min. ويصبح كافرا. In the morning he become kafir. And then ويصبح ويغدو المسلم, somebody, he is mu'min at night, and he become kafir in the morning. How? He says, فيأتي المؤمن فيقول أمطرنا بنوط كذا ونوط كذا. بنوط كذا ونوط كذا. What? He says, we have been brought the rain because of this condition and that condition. At night, he making tahajjud, he's making salah, he's a good, true muwahhid to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then it rains at night. And he gets up in the morning, what does he say? Oh, you know what, we got rain because there's a low pressure system that's happened in that area, and you know, wind brought it from here, and this happened there, because of this condition, we got rain. Yeah, that's shirk. And Rasulullah says, at night he was a monotheist, he was a true believer, in the morning he become mushrik. Why? Do you think the condition, low wind condition, that will bring the rain? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the bring the rain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who brings the rain, take away the rain, He does everything. But He does not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not do it with no reason, with no cause. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the causes and reveals the rain. So we always think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who reveals the rain, who brings the rain. The same thing.
But it's not that he has set up the system in such a way there's a low pressure over here, the warm wind from here, and then from the sea, the evaporation goes up and it starts raining. But we understand it is done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly.
But we don't say that all the time. You just, oh yeah, wind is coming, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending me wind. Oh, there's evaporation, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending me wind. We don't say all the time.
We don't say, well,
we understand what is
right, but see, when you say, and you imply and you say it, that we had the rain because of this low condition system, and because of the wind coming from somewhere, you just all of a sudden, you took the main reason for you to get rain, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you took it out of the equation.
Physical attributes of that rain.
Right. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We're not, if somebody says, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it, and we say, oh no, that's a low pressure, then I think it makes
it's either way, Akhi, either way. When we say today, and especially the forecasters, now is forecasting forbidden our deen? It's allowed, no problem. You could forecast all day and all night. And what do you say? You say, and this is what we see in a lot of these channels, you turn on the good Muslim channels, what do they say? Say, and because inshallah, we're going to have a lower pressure system, and inshallah, this is because the wind here, and inshallah, we're going to have rain in this area. What is the chance? According to our calculation, will be 60 or 70%, inshallah. But if we, but if you watch some of these channels like in Saudi Arabia, that they really care, and some of these countries, and let's not go that route anyway to find out. But the bottom line is that, what is it you really think of? What is it you really runs in your mind? Do you really think? And also, not only for you to think it, you need to say it. You need to say it. You need to, not only for you to think it, you need to actually say it in your words. You say, inshallah. And if saying it is not important, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah Al-Kahf, He says, وَلَا تَفْعَلْ شَيْئًا إِلَّا أَن تَقُولْ, for you, don't do anything, don't say that I'm going to do something unless you say, inshallah. And this is what we call in the Arabic, we say al-istithna. Al-istithna, we have to say it. Don't ever say, I'm going to do something tomorrow, unless you say with it, inshallah. So saying it is important. Or saying it and admitting it and reminding yourself of the will and the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is important. Again, half of our deen is saying. What do I sit when I'm sitting? I say, Astaghfirullah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah. I make dhikr. I remind myself of the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I'm making wudu, I'm washing my hands. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the water. When I'm taking water, I'm drinking it. Say, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the water for me to put on my hand. If I say, you know what? It's up to me now for me to grab this water. Only me. And nobody has control over this. And I take it and I just put it in my mouth. Guess what I did? I just took Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of the equation. It's like I'm doing it on my own. So I don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do this for me. I don't need, and you know what? It's only happening because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So saying it, implying it, thinking it is important. It's very important, inshallah. It's part of the deen. You should not disregard it. You should not walk away from it. You should not think it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. You should always mention it, inshallah. Now, and Abi Hurairah. Now, inshallah, I think it's time. So we don't want to make it any longer. It's a little bit hadith. We talked about the al-kufr. We talked about the shirk briefly. The third one, inshallah, we'll talk about next time, inshallah, will be al-fusuq or al-fisq. We'll talk about it in details, inshallah, and then we'll explain the hadith. Is that what does it mean? فَلَا رَفَث. What is the word rafath? And what is the word fusuq in the Hajj? Because the Hajj mabrur, the Hajj accepted Hajj, cannot be combined with rafath or fusuq. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّ الْحَجْ فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ. Inshallah. Jazakum